Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today, as always with Friday, we're going to be going into our usual number breakdown, comparing Cata and SoD and just the classic project all in all. And something really cool that I want to point out is, look at how good Mage Tier 2 looks with the Thunder Fury sword. I had a very nice raid last night, and I got my Tier 2 chest. It was really the only one I was missing, as well as the Thunder Fury blade, because you know, it's only BIS on mages, which a lot of other classes can use it, but it's BIS for mage and not the other ones. So just a really cool look. I think they did a really good design, and mages don't really use tier 2 too often. Like, you never see the full tier 2 get up in normal classic. So looks really cool to be almost full tier 2 and have the weapon. So just want to point that out, as well as I want to take the time to thank you guys for all of your continued support. I just looked at my total hours watched and total views on the channel, and we are up to 35 years. And I know I pointed it out when I was, when we passed 28 years, which is how old I am. It's just really cool to see that unfold and see that number continue to grow, as well as we passed 6 million total channel views. So thank you guys again. I always, when I look at that, I want to point it out and tell you just how much I appreciate you tuning in. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So we are going to switch it over here and dive into this number breakdown. So right here, we have the total classic TBC Watlake Cataclysm population, and this is the amount of people that have been playing since 2019 and has gone through all of those expansions. So we see a break right here. This is the first breakpoint, and this is when it went from Classic to TBC. So people rating Nax Classic was about at 200k at its lowest. Then we went from TBC, which held a steady, like, 350,000-ish people, and then this was the last patch of Sunwell into Wrath of the Lich King, people doing Nax again, and it peaked almost at 626,000 players, which is Classic's all-time peak for rating players. So this is a cool number to see. And then I think this was Oldham, and then we went into ICC, and ICC lasted a very long time and eventually dwindled down to 80k players. Now, it's important to point out these breakpoints because when we talk about Cataclysm, obviously the first week didn't have too many people, but the second week got to about 317,000 total raiders in Cata. And then we're about 12 weeks in right here, and it is just continuously dropped to a new all-time low of 101,290 players. I do realize that this phase has been drug out pretty long, and we will see Firelands coming on October 29th, so this gives me hope for Cata, but it's just really important to point out how fast Cata has declined. When we look at the other expansions, most of them from their launch continue to grow, reaching some of their all-time peaks on that first phase launch windows and all that. This is almost 500,000 people in Original Classic 2019, and I think that was BWL launch right there. And so it's just really interesting to see that, and then it maintained 400,000 people. It wasn't until Nax that it dipped below 300k, and then into TBC about 300,000. Then Wrath of the Lich King, obviously the most popular expansion Blizzard's ever had, so it makes sense that its numbers were way higher. This was a big dip during Oldham, and then we have the TOGC ICC sort of blended in together at 400k. So it's just really cool to see them those numbers keep going. And then it's really concerning for Cataclysm to be this low. Like, Cata has gone so low so quickly, and I think anyone that is actively playing Cataclysm should be very, very worried. And while I don't play Cata, I still hope for the future for people to be playing WoW, because those 300,000 players that you see that are just gone, it makes you wonder, where did they go? Because they didn't go to SoD, I can tell you that, and we'll talk about SoD in a little bit. But I really hope Firelands gets the classic project going. Obviously, I am a Season of Discovery player, but I am not, I don't want to see Cata fail. I don't want to see one of these be better than the other. I think World of Warcraft is the best win everyone's playing it. And so seeing that drop off in numbers is really, really alarming. And if you're a Cata player, you should be very alarmed as well. Hopefully Firelands gives us a nice boost, but we really don't know that. So anyway, let's go over to Season of Discovery. As you can see, this is the SoD breakdown. This was Phase 1 of SoD. This is into Phase 2 right here with Nomergon, and that's why you see the big drop-off. SoD peaked at almost 500,000 players in BRD, or Phase 1 with Black Fathom Death, so yeah, BFD. Then we have Nomergon here, which it peaked at 327,000. Then we go to Sunken Temple, which did make it 20,000 players, so, or 20-man raids. And so that cuts this in half, and as you can see, it's almost directly cut in half because it takes twice as many people to do the raid, so that makes sense. But Phase 3 drug its feet. It was the longest phase, lasting 14 weeks, and it dipped all the way down to 20,000 players raiding. And then we got Phase 4. This was the first week with just the world bosses. This was the week with Molten Core and the heat system introduced, and as you can see, all the way through Phase 4, it peaked at 88,000 players, and then it dwindled down to 75,000, so just like a 12,000 player flux right there. That's really good. And then when Phase 5 came out, it hit 88,000, and then it continued to be around, we lost 2,000 players, and now we're at 86,000, and then we lost 800 raiders between last week and this week. So SoD is holding very strong around 85,000 players, and that's really good to see, especially when we're talking about MMOs and dying. So like, most MMOs, when they dip this low, they just flat out die. And the only other example that we see is like week 30 of ICC is really when it dipped, but then Cata came out. So like, you only see it here when content has been very, very stale. The only difference between Phase 3 was it became 20-man raids. Sunken Temple was a lot harder than Nomergon and the other ones. And then it continued to, like, this was 14 weeks opposed to the 10 and 8 weeks that we saw with Phase 1 and 2. So, like, this drop-off was massive. A lot of people counted SoD out. And then it was revived with MC. And I figured BWO would take us to 100,000 because we got the mega server, as well as, you know, raiding is the only thing to do. However, I was wrong with that prediction, but we did hit almost an all-time peak. We were so close to hitting a Phase 4 all-time peak, but just fell short of that. But we will see as time goes if people are going to continue with Phase 5. We got the PTR there that shows Phase 6 is on the way pretty early. So I am hopeful. While SoD is, you know, it is a flavor. Some people don't like it because it's seasonal. Some people think it's gone way too far. I just am happy that SoD is going strong. There's a healthy rating community. There's a lot of people online playing. It is noon on a Friday. As you can see, Org is doing good. We look at this. We have 2 layers. Sometimes we even have 3 to 4 this early in the morning. And it's just really cool to see people online enjoying playing the game just during the day and having fun with it. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. If you think Season of Discovery is going to continue to fall off, Cataclysm, do you think it is going to drop below? Do you ever think SoD is going to pass Cata? It would pretty much have to be next week where we might see that, because after next week we are going to be seeing Firelands. I think Firelands will give it a nice boost for the coming weeks. But my boldest prediction would be that next week we might actually see Season of Discovery pass Cata for the first time. And that'll be really interesting to have a look at. But anyway, guys, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.